Welcome to Screen It or Stream It, where we take a look at a video that's currently out in theaters versus one you could stream at home and try to decide which one should you go with. Right now, in theaters is Logan. There's been a running joke in the X-Men movies about the costumes. I absolutely fumed in the first X-Men film when they asked Wolverine, "What do you want, yellow spandex?" Yes! I want the superheroes to look like the superheroes they're supposed to be. There's several jokes about the absence of costumes in Logan as well, but this time I couldn't agree more. Logan is not a superhero movie in the traditional sense. This time the costume would have felt terribly out of place. In fact, except in rare occasions, hero names aren't even used. Instead, the heroes of the story simply go by their real names. So for the movie, and for our purposes, Wolverine is Logan, X-23 is Laura, and Professor X is Charles, and occasionally Chuck. In the not-too-distant future, an aging and ailing Logan is camped out in Mexico with Charles, as two of the last surviving members of the mutant population. When Laura, a new mutant, shows up in need of help, the three of them head out on a cross-country trip in an effort to get Laura, X-23, to safety. All the while, they are stalked by a band of mercenaries called the Reavers, who are trying to capture Laura. In their wake, of course, they leave behind a trail of carnage and dead bodies. For the streaming comparison this week, rather than choosing another superhero story or even something from the X-Men universe, I went with Mad Max. And not Fury Road, I mean the original, from way back in 1979. The first in the series that would later go on to include my personal favorite Max movie, The Road Warrior, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome, a movie whose plot revolves around pig feces, and more recently Mad Max Fury Road, I too will ride eternal, all shiny and chrome. The original Mad Max is set in the not-too-distant future and is the story of Max Rockatansky. Say that 3 times really fast. He's an Australian police officer who's very good at his job. Max, his wife Jessie, and their newborn son go on a vacation and soon find themselves being harassed by the Acolytes, a gang of outlaw bikers. They end up running across the Australian landscape in a battle with the Acolytes, leaving behind them, well, a trail of carnage and dead bodies. There's definitely a similar feel thematically to both movies. Deep down, they're about family. Logan has his surrogate family in Laura and Charles that he's trying to protect, while Max has his wife and son that he's trying to protect. Both main characters surround themselves with their loved ones, but you can't help but feel that they're alone even when they're amongst their families. Close friends also play pivotal roles in the development of the characters and the story. Max has his police partner Goose, and Logan has Caliban, an albino mutant whose superpower is to smell things. In each story, there are young children caught up in the fighting that ensues. Max's son is an infant, so he doesn't do a whole lot, but Logan's Laura is not only involved in the action, but is sometimes the instigator of it. A good portion of Logan takes place on the road. It's about taking a road trip, like all families do. Load up the car, travel the countryside, and commit acts of violence. We like violence. The Mad Max series of films as a whole are known for their cars and automotive violence on the road, but the original Max film, unlike the ones that followed, takes time to slow down, give us some exposition, and develop the characters. And Logan does the same thing. Even the villains of the stories are similar. They're both over-the-top characters for sure, but they could exist in real life. They're bounty hunters and bikers, not like aliens or monsters. But which one is our pick? Should you go see Logan in theaters or just stay home and stream Mad Max? This time I'm gonna have to go with Logan. It does have some slow parts, but when the claws come out, the claws come out. It is an absolutely brutal movie, and not just from Logan. Laura is one bad little 4-foot-tall ball of anger. This Wolverine that we get is the closest to the comic book version we've ever seen in terms of both attitude and savagery. While I felt the plot was a little weak and sometimes predictable, it was full of great characters and great acting. Patrick Stewart, you wonderful man. At times, Logan really will give you the feels. And it does what great movies do well. It strips down on the spectacle that we get with the giant blockbuster comic book movies, although there's still plenty of action, don't worry about that. But it makes you care about the characters. In reality, I probably still like Mad Max just a little bit better, but that could be, the nostalgia talking. I've been loving that movie for 30 years. I guess my real recommendation would be go to the theaters and see Logan on the big screen now while you still can. Then go home and stream Mad Max. You won't regret it. That's all for us now. Thanks for watching Screen It or Stream It.